Welcome to Shorabsa's classes. So in today's video we will be solving a question from ISLM. It is a macroeconomics question, as you know. So in this question the consumption function is given as 200 plus 0.25 YD and investment function is given as I equals to 150 plus 0.25 Y minus 1000 I. Now what we can see is this is the consumption and investment function. So now what we have to do is we have to simply find out the ISLM model. So for ISLM model, first of all, we know the IS equation is given as y equals to c plus I plus g plus nx, which is x minus m. So we already know this, and the ILM equation we know it to be equals to m by p. M by p basically, so it will be m by p equals to L y comma I. So this is basically means the LM function depends on income and interest rate. This portion is basically called the transaction demand, which depends on income, and this portion is speculative demand, which depends on I. So now we know the IS equation for this case will be investment function and consumption function, as we have shown already, that it is given by 200 plus 0.5 YD. Here YD is disposable income and this is I, which is investment, and the government expenditure is given as 250 and tax is given as 200. MPT, which is the demand function in money market, money demand curve, is given as 2y minus 8000 I, and finally m by p is equals to 1600. So now what we have to do is in this solve for the equilibrium values of all variables. So we have to solve for the equilibrium values of all variables. So here what are the variables? We have y, we have I, and how is solution altered when money supply is basically increased to m by p equals to 1840. So how the money supply, when it is increased to 1840 instead of 1600, how this solution is altered. Now we have to explain intuitively the effect of expansionary monetary policy on investment in short run. So we have to intuitively effect of expansionary monetary policy. So now how do we solve it? For this what we have to do is we'll simply first have to write down the IS equation. So as we know, the IS equation is basically y equals to c plus I plus g. So IS equation is y equals to c plus I plus g. So here it will be y equals to c plus I plus g plus nx, which is export minus import. Now for this allow me to take another page. I'd like to insert a page to solve this question. So in this question, first of all, I'll write down the IS equation, which will be c plus I. So c's value is given as 200 plus 0.5 y d plus 150 plus 0.25 y minus 1000 I plus 250. So this part is consumption, this is investment, and the other part is also given. So here what we can do is we will simply equate it with 200 plus 0.5 y minus 200, which is plus 0.25 y minus 1000 I plus 400. Now you can equate it with, so now if you further solve it from here, we get 200 plus it will be 0.5 y minus 0.5 into 200 will be 100 plus it will be 0.25 y, and there is another y on the left hand side minus 1000i plus 400. So now if you simply further solve it, you will get the value to be 0.75y plus 500 minus 1000i. So if you take this on the left hand side, you will get it y minus 0.5y is basically 0.25y equals to 5000 minus 1000i, where y is basically equals to 2000 minus 4000i. So we have found the IS equation to be y equals to 2000 minus 4000i. Now from there we can also find the LM equation. So for LM equation, what we have to do is we'll simply have to equate. We know LM equation basically talks about the equilibrium in money market. LM equation is basically talks about the equilibrium in money market. So in this case it will be M by P, which is money supply, and by P basically means the real money supply, equals to M by P to the power D. So now if you further do it, you will get it to be 1600 equals to 2i minus 8000i. So now here y will be equals to 800 plus 4000i. So now if you simply solve equation 2, which is the LM equation, with that of with the IS equation, you will get the value to be equals to we will get I to be equals to 3 by 20%, and we will get, if we put this value in this equation, you can simply get the value of y to be equals to 1400, and you will get the value of investment to be equals to 650 by putting the value of I, which we have found to be 3 by 20 star 20%. So how do we get it? We get it by solving IS and LM equation, and from here also we get the income, which is 1400, and we get investment to be 650. So now we'll go to the second part of this question. So if we solve for the equilibrium values, all variables, then how is the solution altered when money supplies is increased to 1840? So when money supply is increased to 1840 instead of 1600, we'll simply write it to be 1600. Instead of 1600, we'll write 1840. So now if you go back to the question again, here when we were finding LM equation, which was equation in the money market, instead of 1600, we'll simply put it to be, for the solution 2, instead of 1600 we'll put it here 1840 equals to 2i minus 8000i, and we can get the value of y to be equals to 920 plus 4000i. We get the value of y to be 920 plus 4000i. So this is the LM equation. Now by solving the LM equation with IS equation, we get the value of I from here, and similarly we can get the value of y as well as value of I. So it will be similar to that happened in this case. Now we'll go to the last part of this video. So in the last part, we have to intuitively explain the effect of expansionary monetary policy on investment in short run. So when expansion in monetary policy basically means the LM curve shift rightward. Now we have an equation of investment depending on money supply. Differentiate the equation with respect to money supply. If you differentiate the equation with respect to money supply, and the result, the derivative will be short run effect of expansionary monetary policy on short run. So now say for an example, if we have an equation of investment which depends on money supply. So when money supply increases, what happens? The derivative, the short run monetary policy basically says the LM curve shifts to the rightward. The LM curve, which is the positively sloped, the LM curve is basically a positively sloped curve. The LM curve shift to the rightward. So similarly, the interest rate also falls. Similarly, we will get 2y and new investment. So I hope you guys have understood this question. If you still have any query or doubt, or if you want to know more about this kind of question, or if you want to know more in details, you can simply WhatsApp me on this number, which is 9836793076, or you can also go to our website, which is www.showupclasses.com. There you will find a lot of other videos like this, and you will also get to see a lot of other materials which are needed for different entrance exam. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you still have any query, you have my number to WhatsApp me. So thank you for watching this video and have a nice day ahead.